Happy Friday. It is the Prep Queen Ariel Epstein taking you till 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Hoping to give you some winners. Bad hair day. Bad hair day today. So for everyone who was going to see if I was taking bets on doing my hair today, decided not to. Happy Friday. We've got baseball underway. Chicago Cubs hosting the Pittsburgh Pirates and ended up cashing a winner already. If you follow the prepqueen.com, we ended up cashing the Colin Ray under 17.5 outs. He ended up with 15, went 5 innings in the game, had a high pitch count, pitched well, but high pitch count. And the Pirates ended up winning 3-2. It was tied at 1 last I saw. The Pirates ended up scoring a run in the 7th and a run in the 9th. They ended up taking the 3-2 lead in the top of the 9th. And win the game 3-2. Marley knows that the show started, so she's here. We're at my parents' house. I don't know how. It's like she hears the song when we start. She didn't even come on for reason. She's on for now. Oh, I know why. Because it's 5 o'clock, so she wants to be fed. But that's not gonna happen until her aunt, my sister, comes home. Oh boy, she was just sleeping so nicely. So as you can see, we have a change of scenery. We are at my parents' house. We are house sitting because my parents are moving my brother into college. So crazy. I always talk about myself. You guys don't care. So today on the show, we're going to talk Major League Baseball. We're going to talk WNBA. We've got NFL preseason games tonight. Mid-Major Matt going to join the show, going to help us out with some Major League Baseball props. Later on, 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time. You asked for it. Sean Michael asked for it. We've got Coach James Young. We're going to talk some WNBA. So get all your questions ready. Get up. Come on, Marley, up. Come lay down. Up. Get all your questions ready. If you've got questions about the baseball slate, Matt will answer them, and I will too. Coach James Young will ask you about the W. Mid-major Michigan hater. Okay, you could ask him about Michigan. Sure. I'm very excited to have Coach on. He says he changed his entire day around to be on this show today. So we have to give him a round of applause for being a great team player. I'm going to tweet Mid-Major Matt, join it, Mid-Major Matt MLB props at 5:10 p.m. Eastern Time. James Young, WNBA props at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Let's have a day. Okay, so while we wait for them, I'm going to talk a little bit about preseason in the NFL. Oh, Marley, I'm sorry, your crate's closed. Come up. Come lay down. Good girl. Lay down. Okay, Marley's going to lay down. Thought I walked into the prop dog show for a second. She is the pup queen. It's the pup queen. She is watching live. The bed's made so I could show you guys. Look at her. Aw, say hi, Marley. She's a good girl. Yes, so we are house sitting. That's why this is not the most ideal setup. I'm actually going to be here for a whole week. I convinced my parents to go to Charleston after moving my brother in to his college. He's a freshman. But I convinced them because it's a close drive. So I told them that they should go on a nice little trip. So that's what they're going to do. So we're going to be here in bad lighting for the next week. House party. Yeah. A whole week. But I have a pool, a backyard. Marley has a pool in a backyard. She really doesn't care. She just wants to EAT. She's staring at me. My mom's watching. Hi, Mom. Good job moving in my brother today. Over under 2.5 glasses of wine for Mom after moving her final child into college. Dad's there too, but I don't know if he's watching. We were making jokes that my dad's probably going to be depressed that my brother's not here anymore, but the next time I see my brother, aside for going to visit him in school in September, is going to be probably Thanksgiving when the Ravens are taking on the Bengals in Thursday Night Football on the Thanksgiving game day, where the Epstein family is going to be. So I'm super pumped. We've got NFL preseason football today. So let's talk about both games. I'm not my sharp friends who I talked to today. I said, hey, what do we have in NFL preseason? And they said, just blindly take the overs. Overs were 14-2 last week in week 1 of the preseason. 14-2 to the over. So we've got Titans at Falcons, Chiefs at Seahawks. Titans laying 3.5 at the Falcons, total 37.5. That game, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. The Titans are expected to start their quarterback, Cam Ward, number 1 overall pick. He did start last week. He threw 2 incompletions, but then went 6 for 6 on his passes, led a touchdown drive. The combo of Easton Stick and Emory Jones went 19 for 23 with a touchdown. The depth in Tennessee, probably a bit more than the depth at quarterback for the Falcons. Neither team did win their preseason opener, so they both, I guess, might want to win today. Both teams combined for 17 points over 7 quarters last week. So despite the overs being profitable last week, these two teams did not contribute. It was the other teams, which is why overs hit, because these defenses suck. So it doesn't mean all the time that the offenses are the reason that this hits, but clearly both these teams, in the Falcons and the Titans, their defenses were not good last week, which is why they barely scored, but the opposing team did, and these overs end up cashing. Do I have a play in this game? If anything, I would say I probably trust the Titans quarterback room a bit more to win this game, which is why they're favored at -3.5. I don't mind laying 3.5. The same way last week. I hated laying 6.5 on these teams. These teams were horrible. I mean, we were betting on teams last week. We were laying touchdowns. I wasn't, but you guys, people, were laying touchdowns last week with teams just because Joe Burrow was starting. Oh, great job. Joe Burrow starts a 4-quarter game. Doesn't mean he finishes it. Gosh, so dumb. Marley's staring at me. Chiefs at Seahawks. So this line opened with the Chiefs favored, and now the Seahawks are favored by 3. Oh, because we find out that the Chiefs starters are not probably going to play much. The Seahawks are going to play Sam Darnold. Andy Reid said he's unsure how long the starters will play, but the line did move in favor of Seattle. Gardner Minshew and Bailey Zappi are going to play, which is funny because, I still don't really trust Sam Darnold. And again, he's not going to play that long. But the Chiefs have 2 NFL-ready quarterbacks, Gardner Minshew and Bailey Zappi. They both have gotten snaps in the NFL. I wouldn't mind taking 3 with Kansas City. Now, granted, Mike McDonald, the head coach of the Seahawks, is 2-1-1 straight up in the preseason in his head coaching career. He did learn from John Harbaugh, who does take the preseason relatively seriously in Baltimore. And McDonald was the defensive coordinator of the Ravens for quite some time. Both teams dealing with injuries in the secondary. Chiefs gave up just under 6 yards per play last week in their loss to Arizona, while the Seahawks allowed 20 second-half points to the Raiders. So over potentially in this game, 39.5 is the total, 10 p.m. start. Again, more depth at the quarterback position for the Chiefs with 2 bad defenses. So potentially would be looking at taking the points with the Chiefs. Why bet the preseason, Earl? Well, according to some sharps out in Vegas who I'm good friends with, especially guys like Yanni the Greek who have been doing this a long time, they find value. Some of them deem that there's value on preseason games if you get good information. Maybe you can take advantage of lines that overly adjust because of stupid things like the Bengals starting their starters. Who cares? They don't play the full game. So sometimes you could just take advantage of any kind of overreactions in the market. So let's bring on a friend of mine who takes advantage of a lot of lines out there. My great friend back on the show, Mid-Major Matt. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday to you. How are you?
Oh, you're going to make me do this thing. Hold on. We're going to have to see. You can't, you're not going to fit. Hold on. We're going to move you. That's a little bit better. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
You're at the racetrack today?
I am. They just finished the national anthem, and we're getting ready for race 4 here at Colonial Downs.
I love that. You're getting to enjoy the nice weather outside. I am inside freezing in this childhood bedroom of mine. Earl says you look like you're going golfing today.
Yeah. We're about to bet on the 4th race here. Now, I don't know necessarily much about horse racing, so we're betting on names and finding out what other people like in these races.
Well, Shawn Michaels says he calls you the mid-major Michigan hater.
I am not a Michigan hater. I actually like Michigan more than Ohio State and Michigan State. I'm happy with what happened today. I think Michigan got off relatively easy.
Well, I love that we're getting a little bit of heat from Shawn today. I don't know. Okay, the chat sometimes distracts me. Let's dive into. Hold on now, because I have to adjust you. Which is fine because we love that Matt took the time out. You've got your props today for Major League Baseball. We actually got into a little bit of a tiff this morning because Matt texts me his plays, and I say, okay, I understand the Jacob deGrom under 5.5. I just get a little bit worried because I don't like to bet the same result to happen twice in 2 matchups in a row. Matt tells me I'm insane. So why do you love DeGrom today?
Well, I mean, it's just the obvious. I mean, Toronto's a high contact team, and DeGrom had 0 strikeouts. And you know why I remember that? Because I had DeGrom over in that game, and he had 0 strikeouts against Toronto the first time through. So anytime we can get a 5.5 with Toronto, even with DeGrom, I mean, if you notice, DeGrom hasn't always gone over this number. He's had some lower efforts strikeout wise. I just think that this is some value here. It is funny, though, to watch the typical Twitter handicapper who's like, oh, you got to take the over because DeGrom always goes over this sort of thing without actually paying attention to the matchup or anything else. But I just think I'm taking a shot on under 5.5 with almost anybody against Toronto.
Listen, it's under or nothing when you face the Blue Jays. Absolutely. I probably would have taken this under if I wasn't so scared that DeGrom had 0 strikeouts the last time. I feel like DeGrom has been so good this year that he's going to know he only had 0 strikeouts against Toronto, that he's going to be on a mission.
I mean, yeah, that is the case. I'm actually rooting for him because I have a bet that I put on Caesars preseason for him to have the lowest whip in baseball. He's like 4th in that category right now. So I got a shot, and it was like 15-1, 16-1, because obviously nobody expected him to be this good once again this season.
Those injuries, you just never know. We know the ceiling's high, but an aging DeGrom with injuries, it does scare you. Actually, I was kind of shocked he wasn't dealt at the deadline, but here we are with the Rangers trying to make a second half push. A team not making a second half push, the Chicago White Sox. They're at the Kansas City Royals, and Aaron Savali's on the mound. For some reason, you've decided to back Savali on the White Sox, an inconsistent Savali on the road over 15.5 outs. It's in plus money. Why is there a bit of value here at the plus money price?
He's actually been better somewhat in terms of length on the road. And if you look, Kansas City has a terrible history against them. They're hitting under 170. And Kansas City has the type of lineup that you can go through. I think it was half of the last 14 right-handed starting pitchers have gone over this number against Savali. And at plus money, I figure it's worth a shot. I mean, here's a guy that is a veteran. He can give them, 6 innings potentially. All I need is 5 1/3 here, and I'm getting plus money. I figured I'd take a shot.
I can't trust Aaron Savali, but all the power to you. I do trust Luis Gil over 4.5 Ks. It's minus 140, so a bit of juice. But this St. Louis Cardinals team has been striking out a bit more recently. Is that why you like the over 4.5?
Yeah, if you look at our spreadsheet, which everybody should be paying attention to because there's a lot of great information on there, St. Louis is on a run. It's like 8 of the last 9 have gone over this number, and a lot of them have 5, 6, 7, 8 strikeouts. So the right-handed starting pitchers are doing really well. Now, it's tough because he's on the road, and that's, it's a tough place to play in St. Louis and everything, but giving me 4.5 with a guy who just had 7 Ks against Houston, I'm going to take a shot here and hope the trend continues with the Cardinals.
Yeah, it feels like you're still getting somewhat of a buy low price on Gil, who now the board says is 5.5 in the comment section. Would you take 5.5?
No, I would not. And that's why, this morning there was 4.5, I think, on FanDuel and 5.5 on DraftKings. So this is why we always talk about having multiple outs and multiple sports books, because you're going to get different numbers. Now, granted, as you said, the juice is minus 140, but I get the number I want.
Oh, Marley. That was funny. She's really hungry, I guess. Okay, Brandon Pfaadt. He's at Coors Field. It's Pfaadt for the D-backs versus the Rockies and Tanner Gordon. Pfaadt under 17.5 outs, minus 115. Of course, they're in Colorado, so I'm assuming the altitude plays a factor here.
So I did that thing where I used it as a statistic but didn't say the sample size of it. He's never gone over this in Coors Field. Granted, he's only pitched there once, but he's never done it. So therefore, I can use that fact. And you look last game, he gave, 11 hits against the Rockies at home, where he, in theory, pitches better. And now he's heading to Coors with a Rockies team that hit him early, too. I think it was April or May, his start in Coors. He has not done well against Colorado. And how often do we see a lot of really good pitchers go 6 innings? He's not even a good pitcher, and he's pitching in Coors. The bullpen got saved a little bit because Erod went, 7 innings yesterday? Or Eduardo Rodriguez went 7 innings. So fresh bullpen, bad pitcher, Coors Field, I'm taking under 6 innings.
I want to say, Pfaadt on the road has been terrible this year. Pfaadt 3.76 at home, 6.55 on the road. Nonetheless, at Coors, under 17.5 outs at minus 115 seems kind of generous.
Yeah, I think people just assume that he's going to pitch really well because it's Colorado, but Colorado's offense is actually pretty good at home, and they've seen him twice already this season and have had like 17, 18 hits in those 2 games. So I'm just going to take a shot here with a fresh bullpen and a bad pitcher.
Yeah, I don't mind that at all. I do not trust Brandon Pfaadt on the road. Matt, we had some questions in the chat. I don't know if this applies, but you were saying Joe Quill said Colonial Race 4, Drilling for Gold Race number 4, Ocean Rain. I don't speak ponies.
Oh, well, I didn't take the 1 in race 4. I took the 2, I think, to place and show, and I took the 5 to win. Because the track handicapper here said that the 5 was the best bet for the whole day. So I will consider the 1, but that would give me 3 horses and I think a 6 or 7 horse race. That seems like a little much.
I don't speak this language, but I'm sure you guys would know better. Oh, okay, J-Main 34, Basset Hound over 17.5 outs, the Grum under 5.5 Ks. Thoughts?
So Bassett's interesting because I don't know about you. I considered Bassett over 4.5 strikeouts. He went over that in every game at home except for 1. But I feel like much like Max Fried for us, Chris Bassett's a guy that we haven't done very well with. And so I kind of stay away from that sort of thing when there's pitchers that we don't have a good feel on. But I mean, look, I think Bassett pitches well today. But the problem is Texas's lineup has the capability of knocking him out early. I almost would consider the over 4.5 and maybe his under on outs, but I didn't end up playing either of those.
I was looking at Bassett because with him at home, sure. But you talk about how we don't really trust Bassett. I don't really trust the Rangers against righties. I feel like I only really bet the Rangers against lefties this year because of their splits. Against righties, they're right there in the middle of the pack with 4.7 a game, but 5.9 against lefties. So a righty against Texas doesn't really do it for me.
Right. Plus, they're hot and cold when it comes to strikeouts against righties, and I think they're in one of those cold stretches where they're not striking out a lot. So it'll probably go over because we don't take it. When we don't take him, he goes over. But he's just a guy that's frustrated us.
If you want him at home, all the power to you. Just never take Bassett on the road.
No, never on the road.
But Texas doesn't stand. Texas lefties only. Against lefties only. Texas overs. Everything else, meh. Mackenzie Gore, our guy, J-Main's talking about too. I did some digging into Mackenzie Gore. His K-prop 6.5 at home. He does do well. You know your Phillies best. You're a Phillies fan. 19 overs, 15 unders. They average about 5.5 Ks a start against lefties. But since the All-Star break, lefties, only half of them, 8 total. 4 of the 8 went over 6.5 Ks. Guys like Lodolo, Valdez, Lopez, Luzardo, they all went over, and they're legit lefties. Gore's a legit lefty at home. He's gone over this in 5 of 7 at home against high K rate teams. I just don't trust Mackenzie Gore, and I'm pretty sure he already had 13 against you guys at home earlier this year in his first start of the season. Then he had 6. What do we take from the Phillies facing Gore tonight?
I mean, the Phillies are in one of those times where they're striking out a lot. I would almost consider the first 5 team total under, maybe. The Phillies have been very slow starters lately. Their offense has not been very good. The problem is Gore, outside of his last start, has been terrible. Like, his last start was really good, and he's capable of being really good, but he was terrible over the recent stretch. And so, much like you with your Yankees, I'm hesitant to take anything against the Phillies because this could be the game they break out. But this offense has been terrible lately. So if Gore pitches like he did last time, I think he could shut him down.
He scares me a bit because he gets into trouble in these jams. And one other thing about this game that intrigued me. So I was looking at I'm going to talk about this a bit later on for a hitter's prop that I like on the Nats side. I couldn't believe Zach Wheeler's got a 4.3 ERA when at Nats Park. You would think for your Phillies ace that he would be pitching way better against the Nats team on the road. I mean, I know that the Nats would be at home, but they've been terrible recently.
Yeah, and the interesting thing was last time out, we hit that. One of my bigger bets was Wheeler's under on his outs because the books priced him normally, and he is coming off of a sore shoulder, excuse me. So, I'll be interested to see this morning when I was looking, there were no outs props for Wheeler yet, but if it's high once again, I might consider going under once again. I just think they have to play it very cool with him because he is the team. They're not winning a World Series without Zach Wheeler. So, I'll be interested to see what the outs props prop is under here, but like he's a guy that I think they're going to still use kid gloves on because they want to keep him fresh for the playoffs.
It looks like Jacob Mizorowski is starting today, which is why we didn't have a Brewers starting pitcher posted for a while. Earl says 5 Ks for him, question mark.
Isn't he coming off the IL? So that's an instant no. Although our guy Hunter Green went over, I think, when he came off the IL.
Yeah, but Hunter Green's a different beast. Hunter Green is going to give up 5 runs and get 17 Ks.
And that's our guy. We love Hunter Green, but I just I don't take guys over when coming off the IL. We don't know how long. Look, he's a kid. He might only go 4 innings today, and if he doesn't go, if he doesn't get a bunch of strikeouts, he's not going to go over that. So yeah, usually when we are coming off the IL, you and I are a pass on those pitchers.
Pass or under if you feel like you're getting a good number to take the under on. Sir Mackey is trying to mess with you and says Harper's batting 7 for the Yanks next year.
He has no trade clause, and you know what? Depends on how this year goes, but I might welcome that. I might be okay with that. Like, if the Phillies don't do really well this year, I want a lot of changes this offseason. A lot of changes.
What changes are you looking for?
Well, I want Nick Castellanos off my team. Nick Castellanos, he can't get anybody. He can't do anything. Now, he is slightly better against lefties, so I won't be fading him today. But the next game against righties, I'll be fading Castellanos to get a hit. But, like, he's been terrible. JT Realmuto has been good, but, like, he's getting older. Schwarber's going to cost a lot of money. They should have signed him before the season, but they didn't. And the starting pitching, like, look, Luzardo's hit or miss. Ranger Suarez is hit or miss. He's hit to the beginning of the season. He's a miss in the end of the season. So, like, this is an old team. They need to make changes if they don't win it this year.
It just feels like every season, like I was looking at the board earlier this year and saw the Phillies at 10-1. I felt like for the team, it's a great 10-1 was great value on them. Just every year they're disappointing.
Yeah. Their manager's terrible. I am not a Rob Thompson fan. He makes a lot of bad moves. He's terrible at managing the pitching staff. And this is the year where he's going to have to do a lot of that because, there's just a couple of good relievers and some of the pitchers are starting to get tired. So, like, I don't trust him. I don't trust a lot when it comes to this team. So at their best, they can win the World Series. At their worst, they could lose to the Mets. And everybody's beating the Mets nowadays.
This chat is cracking me up today. We're going to get Nola back this week. Nola first, Castellanos second, Harper in front of Volpe. We need Tucker first order of business. Gosh, you guys are hilarious today. Earl Burton's trying to find a good bet for a bonus bet.
For whose bonus bet?
Earl, what's the bonus bet?
Oh, are we looking at a future that he wants to take?
I don't know what he's looking for, but we need something, I guess. Padres are looking at the team.
Are we looking at baseball, or does he want like a college football future? Like, what kind of bonus bet are we looking for here?
I don't know, Earl. You got to be more specific in the chat for what you're looking for on a bonus bet. $12.50 of free money. Wow. Earl, throw it on something juicy. Let's put a parlay together.
Josh Bell has really good numbers against Zach Wheeler. Maybe throw it on Josh Bell to hit a home run tonight.
I feel like that's like something we talk about every time these two go head to head. Josh Bell's 4 home runs against Zach Wheeler.
Josh Bell and Paul DeJong also has good numbers against Zach Wheeler.
Any matchups that stand out to you?
Those were 2 of them. For people who don't follow me on Twitter, every morning at 10 a.m. I post my hitters to watch. And there was a bunch of them. Somebody pointed out, because last night, I usually do them the night before, and last night Michael King was pitching, and obviously he's not now, but there's a lot of Dodgers that had really good numbers. I was surprised Machado has really good numbers against Kershaw. So does Tatis. So maybe looking at those 2 guys would be something. How
about any weather games? Or are we clear?
I didn't see any weather games today. I think the weather's fine. I think we're good. It's just going to be hot. For the people who follow me, we already had a winner today, too. Braxton Ashcraft goes under 2.5 earned runs allowed. He gave up only 1 run out at Wrigley today. He was really good. They're trying to stretch him out to make him a starter. He was a reliever, and he's pitched pretty well as a starter for them so far.
By the way, Jmain34, his name's Mid-Major Matt on X, so you could go give him a follow at Mid-Major Matt on all his socials. We're trying to get him on Instagram more. He is on there, but he only really does Twitter because that's his speed. Like, Matt is a Twitter guy. I also hit a bet today. I had Colin Ray under 17.5 outs. I couldn't believe how rare Colin Ray hits that over at home. Like, he's gone under that in 77% of home games.
Which was interesting because the weather wasn't particularly in any sort of direction. The wind, I think, was blowing from left to right or right to left. So, like, I can kind of get it at Wrigley, especially if the wind's blowing out. Pitchers don't last as long, but the wind wasn't a factor today.
And they were both throwing one-hitters, both those starters at some point, and then it was just that Ray's pitch count got way too high.
Yeah, he's not a great pitcher, but I don't think we'll see him very much in the postseason. I think they have their top three very easy and ready to go.
Are you buying this Padres love, by the way?
So the only reason why I potentially am is because their bullpen shortens the game. Like, they only need their starters to go 5, and then they've got 5 different arms that they can throw out there. The bullpens are so important because like I do, that when we get to the postseason, the managers have short leashes, and so they yank starting pitchers so quickly and get into their bullpen. And when you can put 5 different guys out there who can lock a game down, you only need 5 innings from the Yu Darvishes and the Dylan Ceases.
I just can't buy in. Like, this team pisses me off every year, and now everybody and their mother is on it. I feel like it's too good to be true, but maybe I'm just going to miss the boat after not betting it for the first time in 3 years.
I mean, I think the Reds are interesting because the Reds have the top 3 to match up with a lot of teams.
Come on.
I'm just saying, Green, Lodolo, and Singer, and Abbott, like, that's not a bad 4 to throw out there. Now, their offense has to score enough, but those 4 pitchers are pretty good.
Listen, I give Tito Francona a lot of credit. He got this team to potentially a playoff situation without their ace Hunter Green, and now the Mets are sucking. So there's a chance that the Reds, who are half game back now of the Mets for the final wild card spot, can sneak in there. And I've got some friends who are on the Reds to make the playoffs that are going to be very happy about that and potentially the over on their win total.
Yeah, who could have seen that the Mets' bad rotation couldn't last all season long? Like, who knew that Clay Holmes wasn't going to be as good this month?
I literally have been saying this all year, and everyone kept laughing at me because the entire season I said, it's coming. It's coming. They're going to come back to life. This starting rotation is not this good. And here we are, 13 of 15 games. Losers. They're not good.
No. And Clay Holmes was a reliever last year, so this is all new territory for him.
Yeah, like a lot of pitches, a lot of innings. The rest of this team, too. Sean Manaea overachieved last year, and now we're trying to rely on him to be a good pitcher. Kodai Senga can't stay healthy. And listen, I know I'm a Yankees fan, but I'm not high on the Yankees either for the same reasons. I don't trust their starting rotation to stay as good as they were. Look, Max Fried's already regressed. Carlos Rodon's a wild card. Luis Gil's just coming off the IL. I don't trust anybody in the Yankees rotation, and I really don't trust the Mets either. But I trust the Mets a lot less than the Yankees.
Yeah, you need Clark Schmidt back.
He's not coming back.
I know, that's what I'm saying, but I'm just saying you would love to have Clark Schmidt in the rotation.
I would love Garrett Cole in the rotation, but
that too.
You can't dream. Not enough. He'll be back next year, and
you'll have Aaron Nola next year.
Okay, that's where I cut you off. Matt, go enjoy the track. Enjoy it. Get some winners tonight. We will speak on Monday.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Matt's the best. My mom always loves when he comes on the show. She's always like, that guy, Matt. He's always so nice. Matt's race is about to go off. Yeah, probably. We're waiting on Coach. Coach said he changed around his entire day for us. So we are very honored to have Coach joining the show in a few minutes. We're going to talk WNBA with him. So get your questions ready. I know Shawn Michaels said that he did have questions about the WNBA. So I guess you can talk about that. I am starving, by the way. Have you ever had lunch and you're like I was going to make a salad and then I got lazy. So I decided to just have like tuna on a piece of bread. And now I'm starving. Like, that was such a bad idea to just do that for lunch. I had Veasan from 3 to 4. My allergies are acting up here in the suburbs. Not great. I'm not thriving. Coach is late. I'm going to yell at him. I'm going to yell at Coach. I've got matchups to watch in baseball. I've got hitters props to get to. I've got WNBA props to get to. So I guess while I wait for Coach, because I don't want to get on a topic too long, and then Coach joins the show. So we'll talk WNBA. I've got a couple of props that I have my eye on in the W, starting with, I hope I pronounce her name right, Lee Yaru of Dallas. So I think that's how you would say her name. Lee Yaru of the Dallas Wings. She is up against this. Did I get that right? Hold on. Do I have this matchup right? Why do I feel like I'm second guessing myself? That's wrong. Hold on. Dallas Wings. Oh, no. Yeah, I'm right. Dallas Wings against the Sparks. Okay. I don't know why I was second guessing myself. So under 15.5 points plus rebounds. Now Coach is here. So you know what? I'm going to bring Coach on, and then I'm going to ask him what he thinks of my props today, because I have to bring Coach on because he says that he changed his entire day around for us, and I don't want to waste a minute of that time that we get with him. Hi, Coach. Happy Friday.
Hey, listen. My bad. I haven't been on all week. I haven't been on in like
Probably
a
2
week.
weeks.
Like, no, I don't know.
Did you come on last week? I don't know.
Well, I tried to get on before you went away to Boston or somewhere.
Boston.
Okay, good.
I was at Lacrosse.
It was good. Okay, well, hopefully you had fun.
The chat's all excited to see you.
Listen, I am happy to be on. My bad. Training has been busy. I started working.
Right, that was the problem last week. You couldn't come on because you had to be training.
Well, yes, because I actually have started working. Shout out to my homegirl, Katie Collins, Ivy League Rookie of the Year, trying to get her ready before she goes back to UPenn. I just had another one of my kids, Sophie Spitz, just verbally commit to Harvard. So I've been in the lab, but I had to move stuff, particularly Katie, because I heard Shawn Michael was like going ape shit that I've not been on. So I said, you know what? Holla at my boy. Unk is in the building. So I am here. Don't worry. I got picks. What's up, baby girl? Happy Friday. Do not throw an 8-keg rager at your parents' house this weekend. But if you do, let me know. I'm coming.
You know what's funny about that? It's a cool thing to do when you're a teenager, to throw a rager when your parents are gone. Then you realize the cleanup sucks. So when you get older, you have no interest in throwing a rager.
No. See, this is when you have to be mature.
And you have to hire help.
Yes. You have the party Friday, cleaning lady Saturday, and then they clean up all.
Yeah, but I'm at my parents' house, so I want them to pay for it, not me.
Oh yeah, well I can't.
I pay for my own services at my own place. I don't need to pay to clean their place.
Hey, listen. By the way, Shawn Michael has already come out slugging. What did he say? Why did the WNBA turn down? Yeah, bro. Listen, they want to get that bag. They think that they are worth. The problem, Shawn, is the fact Unrivaled done messed the WNBA up because of the fact that they're getting a percentage of what they made. So that's going to be an issue. There's another story that's not getting a lot of attention. Joker and I think LeBron's agent had a meeting, and they're looking to start like this other league. NBA players wouldn't be eligible for it, but that's another league, another kind of startup that they're talking about with international ball. So I think at the end of the day, the WNBA is going to get as much money as they can. They're waiting and praying, to be honest, that Caitlin Clark comes back and Indiana makes a run. Because if somehow, somewhere, Indiana gets to the second round, the ratings will go through the roof. And every time that those ratings go up, particularly if Caitlin Clark's around, you will see the WNBA go ahead and try and the players try to get more money. Remember, folks, look at Olivia Miles from TCU. She was going to be the number 2 draft pick in the WNBA draft. She was going to get about $75,000. There's rumors that this kid got 7 figures to go to TCU, not go to WNBA draft. Until these players are making near $1 million, or at least more than $500,000, you're not going to get these kids to come out, and that's going to hurt them. They're trying to get as much money as they can.
We've got plays for tonight's slate of games in W, and at least we know who's probably in and who's probably out. So let's get to your props first, because we like our props around here, and I have to change all these graphics around. There you are. Okay. Alicia Gray over 16.5 points. Why?
Well, listen, Lisa Gray's been hotter than fish grease for a team that's played really good basketball in Atlanta Dream. I do believe they have the second best record in the WNBA as of right now, passing New York Liberty. Over in 5 straight games. All right, you can see it right there.
I was actually looking at points plus rebounds,
right.
by the way.
So go to point. Go so we can show people how I looked at this. When you go to points with Alicia Gray, I think she's over in her last 5 games. Now, the concern that people have with Alicia Gray is the fact that, well, Ryan Howard is back. So if you pull up props.cash, and I would encourage everyone to be looking at this, because I think the site is really, really good. So points.
Points said.
Yep, there's points. The last 5 games she's gone over. So now if you go down, right, if you go back to where you were, Ariel, with Alicia Gray, because I'm going to do it with you instead of pulling it up myself. If you go down, if you go over to the side, because you look at it differently. I need to see with Ryan Howard. So go to with right there. Nope, go up. Go up
here.
Yep. Go with Ryan Howard. So people get concerned about the fact that, all right, well, Ryan Howard's back. So if you look at it, I think it's 8 out of the last 11 games, or 2, 3, 4, 5. So here it's Ryan Howard. So right there, I think it's 8 out of the last 11 games, Ryan Howard, she's gone over 16.5 points. So don't think because Ryan Howard's back, she's not going to score. She's still going to score. 9 out of the last 12 games versus Seattle Storm. 8 out of 11 with Ryan Howard in the lineup. Over 5 straight. They're playing really well. Second best record in WNBA. Game should be close. Should be a blowout. Alicia Gray over 16.5 points tonight.
I like it. We're on the same page. I actually was looking at the points plus rebounds because of all that grain. And give me your thoughts. So it hit in 71% of home games this year. She averages just under 25 points plus rebounds in those spots. The overs cashed 7 of the last 10. Her scoring's up a ton, as you mentioned. I mean, she was averaging 16 points a game last month, now up to 22 points a game this month. The Storm are struggling on the boards. They've allowed the 3rd most rebounds per game to their opponents as well, Coach.
They do. And I think the only issue that I get nervous about with this game is all the bigs. All of them, right? When you look at Gabby Wood, when you look at Owubuike, when you look at Megabur, when you look at Brianna Jones, I'm not sure if BG is back. But when you look at all the bigs, that's my concern. It's the number of bigs. But Alicia Gray early on in the year, they were hanging her rebounds probably like 4.5, and she was smashing them early in the year. So to me, yeah, you can look at it that way too, Ariel. As the flip side is all those bigs have to box each other out. So someone else has got to get the fucking rebound at some point. And then maybe Alicia Gray can fly. And so points plus rebounds or points, either way, I ain't mad at you with that, Ariel. I think she's going to be able to smash over the points or the points plus rebounds.
Perfect. Thanks for making me feel better about that. Jackie Young over 25.5 points, rebounds, and assists. What you got here?
Listen, this team, the Aces, they have been such a disappointment, but they're starting to play better. And a big reason of that is Jackie Young. Over 4 of the last 5 games, best stretch of balls she's had. Same thing with the team. But then it's like, all right, if you look at the game, I expect the game to be close. So if you pull up Jackie Young's points plus rebounds plus assists or PRA of 25.5, and you go down to props.cash and look at the minutes tab, if she plays 30 or more minutes, she's 6 out of 7. They've played close games, close to the best. Should be a good matchup tonight versus a team in the Phoenix Mercury has played really good ball because of close game, because of different ways she can impact the game. 25.5 PRA for Jackie Young tonight.
I can't believe you got a 3-point prop for us. Lloyd over 1.5 made 3s. I get a little nervous about 3-point props. I'm assuming this has to do with a bad perimeter defense.
Well, not so much a bad perimeter defense. It's just if you just pull up the shot attempt. So if you go look at Jewel Lloyd, over 1.5. Now, listen, you're going to pay juice. It's probably 144, 148. As usual, folks do shop around and try to get the best deal possible. But over in 6 out of her last 8 games, Phoenix is in the middle of the pack. I'm trying to pull up right as we pull up her stats. They're right in the middle of the pack, Phoenix, when it comes to 3-point percentage D. A big thing now is Jewel Lloyd is coming off the bench. And I think that's a big thing that I don't think people realize. And that's helping her because she's getting more, I would say more attempts, right? Particularly in the lineup. So Jewel Lord right now averaging about 11.7 points per game. If you kind of look at her last couple of games, let's just say the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 games. I'm going to start from July 29th. 9, 7, 5, 11, 7, 7, 5, 9. Those are the 3-point attempts. So she's getting the attempts up. So to me, if she gets the attempts up, she should be able to get to 2. I know it's a lot of minus money, but I will take the minus 144, and I will say Jewel Lloyd over 1.5 made threes tonight.
Okay. I get nervous about those in the NBA, so WNBA 3-point props definitely scare the crap out of me. But what doesn't scare me so much is the Valkyries laying 7.5 against the Sky, because we know the Valkyries, they were underrated coming into the year. This defense has been top-notch. The Sky, their defense doesn't exist. 7.5, it is a hefty number to lay. Why are you not afraid?
Because the Sky are the worst fucking team in the WNBA? I mean, didn't this guy just lose to the fucking Connecticut Sun? They lost to Connecticut Sun. Now I know. Angel Reese is out, and that's a huge little problem they have. Obviously, at least they're fighting a little bit because they got into a nice little fight with 3 players got ejected in that game versus Connecticut. But to me, you know me, Jay White comes on the show, it ends in Y, we fade the Chicago Sky. Ends in Y, fade the Sky. I drop lyrics like Kendrick Lamar, God fucking damn it. But minus 7.5, I'm going with it. Valkyries 7 out of 8 against the spread. Sky 1 of 9 against the spread. Like I said, no Angel Reese. Valkyries trying to make a playoff push, which I think would be the first expansion team to make the playoffs. I'm going to lay the 7.5 with the Valkyries tonight.
I don't hate it. The Atlanta Dream, they're home against the Seattle Storm. The Storm, the rebounds have been tough for them. I think they've been rough on the boards recently, the Storm. Why do you like Atlanta?
Listen, the crazy thing about the Seattle Storm is they're on a 6-game losing streak, and obviously Atlanta's on a 6-game winning streak. Here is the crazy thing, Ariel. In those 6 games that they have lost, okay, they lost by 2 in double overtime, by 4, by 4, by 4, and by 3. Now, they finally got beat up by 10 on the road against, which is so weird how like this WNBA is. They just played the Storm in Seattle 2 nights ago, and now they're going all the way back across country, and they're playing Atlanta. Atlanta's just playing really good ball. At this point, this is a team that's finding ways to win, 6 in a row, versus a team finding ways to lose, and it's on the money line. I know people are thinking of revenge. Not me. I'm taking the Atlanta Dream on the money line. I'm just going to ride this team as they're playing really good basketball, as good as anybody in the WNBA right now.
Then we've got the Phoenix Mercury, 10 p.m. Eastern time, laying 4.5 against the Vegas Aces. Why are you looking to fade that Aces defense?
Well, they're the 9th best team in defensive efficiency. They play at a decent pace at 6th. They're 9th on effective field goal percentage defense versus a team that scores about 83.1 points per game and number 2 in pace. So all I'm saying is if you look at what the Aces give up, and then you look at what the Phoenix Mercury score, if they just do their average, this thing should hit. But also, here's the big thing that I always look at, Ariel, with WNBA and the NBA and women's college basketball when you can bet. That is in the last 2 minutes, the stop clock advanced the ball to half court. That means there's more possessions down the stretch of games. So if games are close, now you played a foul contest or you're behind the 3-point contest, then you're able to try and get yourself extra possessions. I do like Phoenix to go over 82.5 versus the Aces. Like I said, I know the Aces have looked really, really good as of late. Obviously, they just beat the Liberty. And when they beat the Liberty, I know people are looking, they played great defense. They held them to 77 points. The Liberty were in the second leg of a back-to-back in which they scored 101 points the night before, and they're missing Breanna Stewart, right? So when you kind of look at the Aces, you're like, oh, no. Well, they gave up, 111 to the Lynx, good offensive team. This is just this month. Valkyries, 77. They don't score. You know it. I know it. 72 Valkyries can't score. Team that can score, Storm, 86. They give up 86 to the Connecticut Sun. I don't count the Liberty game. So when they play better offensive teams, they give up points. I'm going over 82.5 for the Phoenix Mercury tonight.
I had a question, and now I'm trying to remember. Aside for the prop that I wanted to ask you. Oh, you brought up the Liberty. Now I remember. Liberty are taking on the Lynx tomorrow, 2 p.m. Eastern time. What are you thinking about that game? I'm looking at the lines right now. We've got the Lynx at home favored by 2.5.
This is such a big game for the Liberty. The Liberty were playing really well in that matchup last Sunday at the Barclays Center, and then they turned into a fucking pumpkin. Like, they couldn't hit shit. And then all of a sudden, they went on a run. And basically, what the interesting thing that came out of that game is Emma Messiman, who is the new player for the Liberty. She was a 2019 WNBA Most Valuable Player in the finals. Really top-notch forward. I was talking to my good friend Brian Lynch, who's from Belgium. That's where his daughter Jada is part of the national team program, under 18 national team. And, I was talking to Brian and his wife, Kim Kleisters, and they talked about how well Messiman kind of moves around. She's starting to get comfortable with them. Now, the big talk with the Liberty is when are we going to see Breanna Stewart back? She made a proclamation before they went on this West Coast trip that she was going to be back at some point. I think the Liberty get revenge. I'm going to take the points and just hope that this is a really, really tight contested game. But for me, this will be interesting because of the fact of no Stewie, no Nafisha Collier. So two of the big players, two I would say the top, 3 or 4 players in the WNBA are not playing. Think about this, folks. You could say the 3 best players in the WNBA, Clark, Collier, Stewie, all injured right now. It's not good for the league right now.
No, definitely not. How does that impact Nafisha Collier's MVP odds?
I think what you have to be looking at, and I said this a little while ago, as soon as she got hurt, I said, you better start looking at Alyssa Thomas. You have to jump in at that point. And then Alyssa Thomas went on a streak, Ariel, I think last week, where she got 3 triple doubles in 3 straight games. And now you look at the MVP market, Alyssa Thomas is at plus 310, right? Can she make a move? Depending on how much longer Nafisha Collier is out. But to me, you look at a Phoenix Mercury team that a win total, I think at 23.5, I think was their win total preseason. They're sitting right now, I think, at about 19 or 18 wins. They're sitting at 19 wins. They are 4-6 in their last 10 games. But that's not because of Alyssa Thomas. Alyssa Thomas right now, folks, is getting you 16.1 points, 8.7 rebounds, and 9 assists. Can she continue to make a move? It would be barely based on how this team plays Phoenix down the rest of the way. I think that's the biggest way to look at it with Phoenix, and kind of looking at Phoenix Mercury down the stretch here, because you're 31 games. I think they play 44 games in the WNBA. So we're trying to see when you could get some big spots with her. Obviously, they play.
Tyler Lue says Wilson's better than Stewie.
They're close. But let's be honest. Neither one's having a really good season, Tyler. If you really look at the splits and you look at how they're playing, Stewie's 3-point percentage is a fucking abomination. And I love Stewie. And I know Stewie. She's not playing well shooting the ball from 3. So we got to see what happens when they come back. The problem with the Aces is the fact that you line these two teams up, the Aces and the Liberty, who are you taking? I mean, let's be honest. What team are you taking? If you can say you line, let's just say I give you Stewie, I give you Asia Wilson over Stewie, right? So who's the 3rd best player on the floor? Probably Ionescu. Who's the 4th best player on the floor? Probably John Quell. Maybe 5th, I give you Jackie Young. And then there's Messiman, there's Natasha Cloud, there's Leona Fibich. The problem with the Aces is not Asia Wilson. It's everybody else, although they've been playing better basketball as of late.
Coach James Young, you're the best, as always, and we appreciate you taking the busy time out of your schedule and making time for us here on the show, because I know it's been a couple of weeks. So I guess we'll have to just bring you on again next week.
I'm gonna go on record here. I am scheduling myself right now. Okay, so let's just cut this shit out so I can make sure Shawn Michael is ready to go, so he doesn't yell and think we're in a fight. I'm coming back on Tuesday the 19th because you got Lynx Liberty You got Dream Aces. You got 2 good matchups, 5 matchups in the WNBA. I am committing myself right now to Tuesday.
You're in. You're
I'm
in
coming
the
on
show.
Tuesday, and I'm coming on Thursday.
Oh, twice?
I mean, listen, your brother got to keep busy. Times are rough right now, Ariel. I got to stay busy.
I feel you, Coach. I feel you. Coach is in Tuesday and Thursday next week. We love you. Thanks for coming on. Good luck with those bets tonight.
Thanks, Ariel. Talk soon.
Time to get to some prop queen edges. So let's get to some pitcher props. I already hit one today. We catch the under on Colin Ray. So let's take a look at 3 others. We've got the under 17.5 outs for the Marlins starter, Sandy Alcantara, who's gone under 17.5 outs in 8 of 10 road games this year, averaging 14 outs in those starts. He owns an 8.87 ERA on the road. That is abysmal, averaging 16 outs per start against the Red Sox this year. Are the starters that face them. So we are going under with Alcantara on the road at Fenway, under 17.5 outs. Houston's lefty, Framber Valdez, over 6.5 Ks. The Orioles strike out a ton this year against lefties. Now, granted, when you look at the MLB prop spreadsheet from Mid-Major Matt and I, as a premium subscriber on thepropqueen.com, you'll see since the All-Star break, not many lefties went over against the O's. Well, that's because they didn't face anybody. Anybody's they faced. Matthew Boyd had 8 Ks. Jesus Luzardo had 7 against Baltimore. Framber Valdez is better than both of those guys, and he's at home where he pitches his best. Valdez has gone over 6.5 strikeouts in 6 of 8 home starts this year against high K rate lineups. Lefties, 21 overs, 14 unders against the O's this year, averaging just under 6 strikeouts a game. So this prop probably should have been 7.5. But because the Orioles haven't been striking out that much recently, we've got a 6.5, and we're going to take advantage by going over with Framber Valdez. Lastly, former Oriole Charlie Morton, under 5.5 Ks. Morton is in plus money for this under against a Twins team that also doesn't strike out that much. Morton has gone under 5.5 strikeouts in all 3 road starts that he's faced a low K rate team. Marley's back. The Twins are averaging just over 4 strikeouts per game against righty starters. 34 overs, 58 unders when facing Minnesota. 6 of the last 10 to face them went under their K prop. And yes, the Twins struck out a lot against the Yankees in this last series. The Twins always stink against the Yankees. So we are going with the under 5.5 Ks because in 5 of the last 6 home games the Twins have played at home, righty starters have gone under 5.5 strikeouts. So under for the plus money play for Charlie Morton tonight. Marley wants, you want to go in your cray? No, honey. We're going to stay out of the crate right now. What else do I have? Oh, hitter props. Okay. I'm going to remove this banner. Marley, don't jump up. You're going to knock the computer over. Do not jump up here. Do not. Here, come here. You want to come up on the screen? You want to say hi? Come on. You want to come up? Up. Say hi, everyone. You want to say hi? Say hi. No. Say hi. We're going to talk about Riley Adams. She just burped in my face. That's disgusting. That was not ladylike. Riley Adams to go over his half a hit, run, and RBI. He is on an absolute tear. So if you want to take advantage of somebody who really isn't that great, he's hitting 196 overall this year, yet in his last 2 weeks, hitting 324. Adams in his last 20 games against right-handers, averaging 1.5 hits, runs, and RBI. Zach Wheeler weirdly owns a 4.22 ERA at Nats Park, despite the Nats being bad. So I'm not as worried about Zach Wheeler. I like that Adams is hitting well right now, and he's at home. So we're going to take advantage with the over half a hit, run, and RBI. Vladdy Guerrero Jr., also like him today to go over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBI. He is also at home, averaging just over 2 hits, runs, and RBI a game at home against righties, which is why Vladdy's gone over in 67% of those games. 7 of the last 10 went at home against a right-hander. Vladdy's 1 for 3 with a single in his career against Jacob deGrom, and he's hitting 315 in his career against the Texas Rangers. And lastly, who I used in my hitter survivor on Splash Sports today, Mr. Byron Buxton. Do not disappoint me. We are going with his over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBI. That's because Buxton's averaging just under 3 hits, runs, and RBI at home against righties. He's 3 for 6 with a single, triple, home run, and 3 ribbies against Charlie Morton. With Morton struggling on the road and Buxton hitting 299 at home, we are going with the over on hits, runs, and RBI for Byron Buxton of the Minnesota Twins today. I didn't do fishy lines. That's my bad. I could do them real quick. Let me look real quick and see if we have any fishy lines. Okay, so I'm going to go through real quick and see if we have any fishy lines on the slate today in Major League Baseball. The line moved in favor of the Phillies. The line moved against Jacob deGrom by 8 cents in favor of Chris Bassett. I like a 10-cent move or more, but again, I've mentioned this. Chris Bassett at home, I don't hate. The line moved in favor of Atlanta. Weird pitching matchup with Waldrop and Cantillo going head-to-head. It was a 15-cent move over since last night against Cleveland at home. So you could look potentially there, but I'm sure it's not that fishy. Marlins, not much movement in that game. Mariners, not much movement there. White Sox, not much movement there. Orioles, wow. So the line moved Houston minus 240 to minus 215. Oh, that's not good for my strikeout prop at all. So that's probably the fishiest line of the day. The line moving minus 240 to minus 215 against the ace Framber Valdez and the Astros. It's looking like the O's might win. Damn, I do not like that at all. That sucks. Total did drop from 8 to 7.5, so maybe it's just low scoring. Maybe it's a bullpen thing. But that is a huge dip for an ace pitching at home. I probably would be betting the Orioles today. Now I'm pissed. Because I really liked that Valdez over, but here we are. Orioles, damn. Yankees, 10-cent move in favor of Luis Gil, and Major Matt did say he liked the over 4.5 Ks. If you could grab it, still at minus 140. The line move, let's see, Angels, nothing there. Padres, I didn't have a line yet last night. And the Rays and the Giants. Yeah, some fishy line of the day. Houston Astros and Baltimore Orioles. Orioles line move like 25, 30 cents in their favor since last night. Yeah, I would stay away from Fromber now. Sucks. I really liked him tonight. I get home against the O's, but that line move from minus 240 to minus 215. I know there's still a minus 215 favor, but that is a big move in favor of an Orioles team that's literally throwing Brendan Young tonight against an ace. Okay. Do I like Chris Bassett 4 or more Ks? Texas is a weird team. They don't strike out that much against righties. They're very hit or miss. Bassett at home with 4 makes sense. He typically has about 4 to 5 at home. But the Rangers are really fluky. So it's more on the Rangers side of that I don't really trust, because they could have 3, they could have 6. Like, they don't, that's why they average 4.6 a game. It's not great. So I don't like betting K props for righties against Texas. I'll only bet lefties over against Texas because they have drastic lefty righty splits. Let's get to my best bets of the day. We've got, oh wait, crap. Now my Royal Locks, I'm changing that because I'm not betting Fromber. Okay, no graphic. Royal Locks. Royal Lock of the day is now just going to be this one pitcher prop. Sandy Alcantara under 17.5 outs. Alcantara stinks on the road with an 8.87 road ERA. He's gone under an 8 of 10 on the road this year, averaging 14 outs in those spots. Plus, starters only average 16 outs a game this year when facing the Red Sox. So, Sandy Alcantara under his outs is my Royal Lock of the day. I was going to give out Fromber over K's, but now I changed my mind. He's not a Royal Lock anymore because the line just moved 30 cents against him since last night. So, Sandy under outs is the play. Fox says he likes over walks for DeGrom as well. Oh, sorry. Over walks for Sandy, over 1.5 runs for DeGrom, Vladdy, over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBI. Looks like a great parlay. There you go. You like the White Sox, J-Main? I mean, listen, over outs is what Mid-Major Matt gave out for Savali, so he likes them too. Joe Boyle, over 5.5 Ks. Let's see. Joe Boyle for the Rays tonight against the Giants. Hold on, let me get up the National League on the spreadsheet real quick. I don't think the Giants really strike out much against righties. I think it's a lefty thing again. Yeah, 4.7. Again, the Giants strike out more against lefties than righties, so that's a stay away for me. Even though they've had 5, 6, and 5 in their last 3, but prior to that was 3, 3, 3, 3. Like a lot of threes out there. So I don't think I'm going with any overs for righties against the Giants. Lefties, yes. Righties, no. Ride from Burl. Go for it. Maybe since the total dropped by a half a run that it's not that bad, and maybe it's just a bullpen problem. 87% of money's on Houston over O's. I know. And the line moved from -240 to -215. Can't take Baltimore. They have nobody on the team. Houston got better also. I know, but I'm just telling you, it's the fishy line of the day. So even if the Astros win, don't be surprised if you're sweating the hell out of that game. I am far off of the Astros at this point for a line to move that much against an ace at home. This happened almost every time 2 years. Remember when Zach Gallen was like on a Cy Young campaign? Every time Zach Gallen was at home and the line moved 20 or 30 cents against him, I faded the Arizona Diamondbacks every time, and it typically cashed. So I am just saying. Wheeler over K's, not against the Nationals. The Nationals, someone just asked me if I would date a 56-year-old. You've got to be kidding me. I'm going to literally, LOL. No. Jesus Christ. I'm so done with everybody today. That's it. That's the end of the show. Wheeler struggles. Yeah, Wheeler struggles at Nats Park. And again, Washington averaging 4.6 strikeouts a game against righties. It's again, Washington strikes out a strike. They average a full strikeout more against lefties. So only lefty overs against the Nats. Righties, very average. Happy Friday, everybody. I have to go get dinner. I am absolutely starving. No, I will not date a 56-year-old to anyone asking that. No. I will be on last call tomorrow talking to a bunch of other 56-year-olds, I'm sure. But that is the extent of my relationship with 56-year-olds is in the last call chat and this chat and my father. You guys are weird. Have a great weekend, everybody. Good luck to your bets tonight.